Well, I am going to get right ahead and get started. Hello, folks. I am super excited to be live again. I am really touched that so many of you have decided to take time out of your very busy schedules to spend a bit of time with me today. Well, I'm Dr. Kutso Madubanya. I help individuals and organizations navigate change with less fear and more clarity, and definitely a sense of self-trust. So today we're going to be running a really tight ship as usual. This is our monthly. We are going to be talking about how strong people are strong leaders, strong people who tend to be leaders, right? As fixer-uppers, go-getters, high achievers, right? Are you one of those? Yeah, we are going to be talking about how us folks navigate change and why it's especially difficult for us to do so. And if you stick around till the end, you'll be able to walk away with the tool that will enable you to hopefully go through change with a bit more ease, because letting go and swimming with change is not very easy, is it? What I call dancing with change. But folks, before we do that, before we go any further, I want to show you something. It's a short piece related to my book. I want you to just watch it. Don't analyze it. Just watch it. Notice if any of it resonates with you. Okay? So let's give it a minute. I am going to get it started. Ready? Here we go.
I don't ask for help. I've got this.
I am a go-getter. I want it all.
I'm fiercely independent. I can do it all alone.
Okay there, folks. I see a few people have trickled in since the beginning, a few minutes ago. I'm not sure how many of you were able to watch the video, but I'm just curious. As you were watching the video, could you see yourself somewhere in the story? Just type me. Just type me if that's you. Let me know. Let me know if you could see yourself in the story. And if you like, go right ahead and let us know which parts resonated most with you. Okay. I like that. Haha, yeah, the doing it all part, right? Megan, you're right. The doing it all part. Yeah. Yeah, we all know doing it all is a sham, right? You'll have to bear with me here. I'm not convinced anymore. Well, folks, I appreciate your thoughts. That is me. That is me too. We are the strong ones. We're the ones that hold everything together, and hey, if anything needs to be figured out, we figure it out. And we carry everything, and we carry everybody. We carry ourselves, and we protect everybody. We protect ourselves, but we protect everybody too. Yeah? We are the ones that do it all. We end up stuck. Everybody dumping on us, right? Folks, it worked. I have to say, for me, it worked for a while, for a long while, until it didn't. Confession. I woke up one day with everything shifting all at once. All at once. I was in a new country. I was parenting alone. And I suddenly had no job unexpectedly. And I had no support structure. And I truly had no roadmap. Really. All I had was a tsunami of disruptions. It just seemed like I wasn't getting a break. If it's not the job, if it's not this, if it's not that. Anyone had a major season of change like that? A really major season? Type yes if that's you. Yeah, I call those tsunamis. I call those tsunamis. Yeah. Type yes if that's you. Yeah. It's normal, right? We do that. It's hard. It's difficult to not have transitions, disruptions, unexpected change all the time. It's very difficult. Yeah, I see. I'm looking at Jason here on YouTube. Yeah, yes, tsunami is the right word for it. I agree. I agree. Well, you know what? And you know what, folks? I noticed that it wasn't just that I was having a tsunami. It was the problem wasn't the tsunami itself. Change is inevitable, right? The problem was in how I was responding to it. Because as a strong person, we face change in a really different kind of way. When people can go hide and do this, man, we put on our Superman cape, right? We furl our wings. You've never seen a strong person pedal faster than when they're faced with uncertainty. We get busy. I mean, we get so busy. It's not funny. We get faster. We get harder. We get busier. We carry more. We hold it all together. We hold so much tighter. We need to have more control. It makes us feel like we're getting somewhere. We got everything together. And we carry everything and we protect everybody. The only person we tend to neglect is ourselves. And you know what the hardest part is? Nobody worries about us. Nobody worries about the strong one. Nobody checks up on us even. Because externally, we project that air of, we got it. We got it. We got it down. Oh, not a big deal, you know. And internally, we don't even ask for help. Do you hate asking for help? Everybody, just let me know if you hate asking for help. Type me. I'll give you a second. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, as strong person, we don't do vulnerability. We do not ask for help. Let me tell you, I not only hate asking for help, I'm terrified of it. Disclaimer. So folks, what needs to change? What do we need to do in order to navigate change, unexpected change, with a little bit more ease? What do we need to do? We don't need to change our capability. Hey, that's not in question. Nobody's more capable than a high achiever, or what I generally call the strong one. I don't like the word high achiever, right? I'm referring to people who generally are very driven and end up with a lot of responsibility. Okay, our capability is not in question. And our resilience, it's a given. Nobody can withstand pressure more than a strong person. But what does need to change is our relationship to control, because we tend to hold everything tight, right? We need to change our relationship and our definition of that we give ourselves for strength. We need to redefine strength for ourselves. Forget what anyone else defines for us. We also need to change what we consider to be worth, or what makes us worthy. Because for many of us, we believe in proving our worth. And there's a reason for that. We'll get to that in a second. So what needs to happen, guys? What needs to happen here is we need to begin to loosen our grip on control. Change requires fluidity. If you think of change as a tsunami, as I do, this big wave, it comes up at you. And when you're rigid, you go against it. What do you think is going to happen? That's where you get a shipwreck, right? But if you swim with it, let the tide carry you. Now you're more fluid. So we need to loosen that grip on control. And we need to allow ourselves to trust that we are not the only portals to solutions. And we certainly are not the only ones that have the responsibility to do it all. We're not, whatever needs to be done, it's not only our responsibility to do. We don't have to do it alone. Other people can carry their weight, but we just need to trust that they can. Of course they can. We're not born, we didn't come to earth all by ourselves, right? Everybody's here so that everybody can do their part. So we need to also be honest. Yeah, this is a hard one for us. Man, we like to keep it all together, and we like to, this affront of we're strong, we got it all. We never let people know that we're struggling when we are. Let's give that up. We need to give it up. We need to let people know the truth about where we are, where we're at with things. And perhaps most importantly, we need to release the need to prove our worth. Anybody feel me? Anybody feel me? Yeah, Kara. Yeah, that word thing, girl, I tell you, that's insane. It really is insane. We do not need to prove our worth. We were born with it. Hey, if you're anything like me, you have credentials stacked under your bed because you have so many. You tried so hard to prove yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. You really don't. You're born with it. We need to change that. So in all of this, folks, it means we really need to let go. We need to let go. Now what does that look like for a strong person to let go? How does that sound? How does that grab you? Does it excite you to let go? Anybody? Yes, you're right. Sarah, you're right. Letting go is not easy. It really isn't easy. Intellectually, you're thinking, oh, I'll just stop. No. If it were easy, we would have done it, right? Letting go is terrifying. It is not only hard, it's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And that's because to us strong people, check this out, letting go doesn't bring us relief. Everybody else, it does, but not us. Letting go means we get to lose control. And you know what losing control means? It means our shield is down. We feel vulnerable. We need that control to protect ourselves and our loved ones. If we relinquish control, it leaves us vulnerable. And as strong people, we do not do vulnerability. I don't care who you are. We do not do vulnerability if we're strong people. So what are we going to do? Well, folks, I've got a little tool that might help. I call it Pivot. Pivot is an acronym for a mind recalibration tool that I designed based on my own tsunamis, my own research in sense making for my doctorate, and also my, many decades of living around the world and changing careers, right? I learned that there are specific places in our thinking. Remember, it's a mind recalibration tool, which means you apply it in real life, in real time, right? It doesn't mean you need to schedule it like you do, schedule girl time or schedule time for this and that. It means in that moment, when you're faced with change and everything about you just wants to hold on tighter because that's the only way we know how to deal with change. Apply Pivot and see if that helps you carry it easier. It's all about the conversations you have with yourself. 5 types of conversations. And the acronym stands for each one of those. So P stands for pause. So folks, think about the last time you received bad news. Maybe you got news that, I don't know, somebody you love didn't love you back, or they don't want to be with you anymore, or something with having to move this. There's so much involuntary change that we have to contend with every day, right? Think about the last time something like that. Change came out of nowhere. You did not expect it. You didn't like it. Unplanned, unwelcome. What did you do? What is your natural impulse? Ha! Yeah, you're like me. Donovan, you're right. It's not a woman thing. It's not a woman thing. Don't apologize for it. Hey, listen, we get busy. We already talked about this. All right, little anecdote here. You know, the last time I got laid off, it had been business as usual, and I woke up as usual, and I went to work, and around 12 o'clock, I noticed my boss had set an appointment to see me. And so I went in, and within a good 5 minutes of that conversation, I learned that as of that minute, I no longer had work. As of that minute, immediate layoff. I wasn't getting kicked out. They didn't have work for me anymore. So at that moment that I received the bad news, tell me if my reaction was anything like yours. Took me a while to really, for a few minutes, I just wanted to jump into action. I was just like, okay, great. What are we going to do? We need to start sending out more job, new job applications. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this. Chop, 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 chop. We need to fix. We need to fix this situation, right? And I reminded myself of the virtue of pausing. Just do nothing. Just do nothing. Do nothing. So instead of lapsing into action, I just did nothing. I just sat in my chair and I looked outside and I noticed it was snowing. And you know what thought came to me? I thought, wow, this is so interesting that I had never looked outside my window during work hours. I'd never seen snow during work hours. What helped there was just feeling what arose for me. By pause, I encourage you to feel it before you fix it. Feel the anger, feel the disorientation, because truly the first few minutes, you might not even know how to make sense of it. I didn't. It was like, what just happened? What? Really? Right? Just feel it. Feel the disorientation. A part of you're doing several things. One, you're disrupting your fight or flight reaction, right? Your automatic impulse. And two, you're really processing what needs to be processed. If you suppress emotions, you know the book, The Body Keeps Score? You know, we need to process. We need to listen to our internal signals because we are so good at ignoring those. We override our internal signals so readily. It's like everything says, with us, pain? Are you kidding me? We do pain in our sleep. We don't do that. We get praise for it, right? When you pause, you stop being a machine. You be human. You disrupt that natural impulse to just act. Okay, that's P for pause. I, in the acronym PIVOT, that stands for introspect. Now, what are we introspecting here? Identity. You are thinking about your identity because so much of our identity is linked to how we navigate change. The strong one is not just an adjective for us. It's a whole identity. It's a persona. What you might feel as you try to let go is, shoot, who do I become now? Now that I'm no longer the capable one, the fixer, the one that everybody relies on. Who am I gonna be? Who am I going to be without this persona of being the strong one who always keeps it together and keeps everybody safe and moving forward? Who am I gonna be? And here I encourage you to remember, you are not your identity. An identity is something you can put on and put off. You can take on and take off. It's like clothes. The strong one is not who you are. You can become somebody else. Let go of that if that no longer serves you. And you will find that the sooner you do that, the more relief you will feel. And V for vector, I call it vector. Vector is just a reminder. Change is very overwhelming, guys. Even letting go can be very overwhelming, right? So vector reminds you, you got this. You already have what it takes to take on what is required of you that's new. You already have old skills that you can use to build on to start a new life. All right, a little disclaimer here. So those people who know me personally, they'll know I parent alone, and no shame, happy. You know, that's what I do right now, parent alone. And if you know anything about my history, it took me way over a decade to ask for child support. And that in part, yeah, I had my pride issues. That's another thing we do as the strong ones. Yeah, we got so much pride. Oh my God, we got reputations to preserve. Okay. But part of it had to do with, it's just overwhelming. Where do you even begin? Right? But once I had to start the process, I realized, wait a minute, I know how to research. I've done this before. So remember, you can always use what you already have, the skills you already have, to learn something new. Whatever it is that you need to learn, that's new. O stands for overcome. Here, my friends, we're going to overcome what I call the suck. But for us strong people, it's really overcoming that urge to be a perfectionist all the time. You know, we don't ask for help, we don't delegate because we want things to happen the perfect way. All right, how's that working out for you? You're tired, right? Hey, life is not going to end because you didn't do it perfectly or it is not done perfectly. Life is meant to be fun. It's okay. Cut yourself some slack. Cut everybody some slack. Nothing. Life is not going to stop. And life is not going to, people are not going to fall apart because you didn't do things properly. And T for travel forward. This just means commit to the new path, guys. if you keep looking back, oh, I wish I were this and I wish I were that. Oh, and I see I'm going to run up against time, but I'll tell you this story very quickly. Soon after I found, after my jobless tsunami, the jobless leg of my tsunami, I found a job. And this was a decent job, except I accepted that job in a rush, having been run my own company. So it was an entry-level job that I had to accept, that I didn't want, but I had to get because I needed it. I've caught myself in such turmoil, to a large extent, because I kept thinking, Kutso, how do you, CEO of your own company, end up doing an entry-level position? And the minute I realized it really doesn't matter, Kutso, just focus on learning the new bloody hell entry-level job. It's paying the bills right now. Who cares that you were once a CEO of your own company? Nobody cares. That gave me a whole lot of freedom, committing to the path ahead instead of regretting the past or looking back with nostalgia or regret. So guys, pivot is not going to remove the weight of being the strong one. That's not what it's going to do. That's not what it's designed to do. But I hope it will help you change how you carry the weight of being the strong one, so that you're no longer carrying it alone. In closing, folks, being strong is not the problem here. The problem is believing you have to carry everything alone. That's the real problem. Listen, for many of us, strength was once survival. That is how we earned our place in society. That is how we protected ourselves and others. And we got praised for it. Society praises strong people, right? In all of that, we forgot one thing though. What was all of that costing us? Carrying everybody and carrying everything. What was that costing us? So, friends, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to stop being strong. But what if we could define strength and look at strength differently now? What if strength included rest? New concept, right? What if, oh, this is a big one. I know it was a big one for me. What if strength involved making sure that allowing people to carry their own weight instead of us carrying it for them? Listen, this was a big one for me. It still is. Realizing that actually people can carry their own weight. I know it's common sense for everybody else, but never was for me, because I prided myself with not only carrying myself, but I could carry other people too. And what if strength looked like not only asking for help, which is hard enough, but receiving it? Receiving help can be hard for us. I know it's hard for me. It's terrifying still. And folks, you might really not like this because we don't do vulnerability very well. But what if we were more honest? What if strength involved an element of us showing up honestly, truthfully about our limits? Hey, if this is hard, it's hard. Let's name it. Let the world know we have feelings too. And we get overwhelmed too. And we hurt, just like everybody else. Now, folks, I am 3 minutes over. I like to pride myself with getting right to the hour. If any of this resonated with you today, if you found the themes that we discussed align in spaces where you live, where you work, in the communities where in places where you build community, I should say, I'd love to continue this conversation. And if this hit you at a personal level, Google my book, No More Free Passes. It's available in bookstores around the world, because that will share with you my journey and my struggles with being the strong one, and how that actually ultimately led me to write the book and to develop the framework, Pivot, and the philosophy Dance with Change. And it's very short. It's gonna take you like an hour to finish because I know you don't have time. Okay, and if you are part of a team in an organization, especially those organizations navigating change, be it leadership changes or a merger or AI disruptions, whatever organizational change you're going through, reach out to me. That's what I love to do. I work with teams to help them really make sense of change so they meet change with less resistance. Change mindset, if you like. And if you need something that you just want to take home today, I got something for you. Just type reset in the chat, RESET. Whether you do it now or whether you do it when you watch this later, go right ahead and I'll email you a one-pager I put together that you can apply in real time whenever you catch yourself feeling like, oh, being strong is getting too heavy. Whenever you need that pivot reminder to help you ease the pressure. Guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I had another wonderful session. It's been a blast. Let's continue this conversation. Feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, other social media platforms, and I hope to continue this again soon. So that's that. Dance with Change family. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for being here. Bye.